Welcome back. I assume that you have read the supplementary materials in the International Bill of Rights, because now I want to introduce you to two important terms. The first one is negative rights, and the second one is positive rights. When you read the two treaties under the International Bill of Human Rights, you might have noticed that there are rights that already exist, and the treaties are there to protect us from these rights being taken away from us. On the contrary, there are rights that we do not have yet, but should have the rights to. For example, being provided quality education and health care. In the first scenario, where the regulations are to protect us from having our rights taken away, it is called negative rights. Civil and political rights under the International Bill of Human Rights are usually negative rights. Contrary, the second scenario, where our rights rely on the actions of individuals or the government, they are positive rights. These types of rights are more likely to be protected under the specifications in the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights. Keep in mind that positive rights and negative rights are not always so clear-cut. Now, we know some of the specific types of human rights that we have. How can United Nations effectively monitor and enforce these regulations when human rights are violated? Regulating human rights are not always easy. Provisions of the international treaties do not always become part of the domestic law. Some states take the approach of the dualist, meaning treaties do not always get transformed to domestic legislation automatically, while others takes a monistic approach, in which international treaties automatically become part of the domestic law at the time of the state accedes or ratifies the instruments. Hence, when human rights treaties do not translate into state legal system, the monitoring often shifts to the state's responsibility to monitor and submit reports to the United Nations. On the side, NGOs often served as independent reviewer for the country's human rights conditions. However, when grave human rights violation occurs, UN Security Council can take actions. The United Nations Charter gives the Security Council the authority to investigate and mediate, dispatch a mission, appoint special envoys, or request the Secretary General to use his good offices. The Security Council may issue a ceasefire directive, dispatch military observers, or a peacekeeping force. If this does not work, the Security Council can opt for enforcement measures such as economic sanctions, armed embargoes, financial penalties and restrictions, travel bans, the severance of diplomatic relations, a blockade, or even collective military action. For example, the International Criminal Court, established in 1998 and came into force in 2002. It is the court of last resort and has the power to try heads of state or the representatives for massive and gross human rights violations, including genocide, war crimes, crime against humanities, and aggression. Jot down one historical incident where UN has intervened through the Security Council. What was the outcome? Can you think of the good and bad of this system?